And we're live. Welcome into another episode of TigerBait Live. Got a big show for you tonight. 5 LSU football practices are in under their belt. Off day today for the LSU football team. They'll be back at it tomorrow. And the first scrimmage of Fall Camp 2021 will be Saturday. And of course, we have no media access, but we will get Ed Orgeron afterwards. Ed Orgeron was on a radio show earlier today and dropped a few nuggets about some personnel. We're going to talk about that. But please do us a favor, hit the like button, share on social media. If you're on YouTube, if you're not a subscriber to our channel, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Our YouTube channel has been growing by leaps and bounds. Many of you are loving the instant analysis. Buddy's coming, got a big fan club out there. And so we got a lot to talk about. We've been out at every single practice, and Buddy's been with me at all of them. So how you doing, Buddy?
Good to see you, Mike, and a belated happy birthday to you. I think Mike Shingleton on the channel, too, and you had the same birthday. But as always, tonight we are sponsored by Pride Roofing. They take great pride, and you do as well in the way you do your job. Folks, trust me when I tell you, Mike and Alex have done a fantastic job. They've been great sponsors for you and me. And we tell you that they are very competitive. We know how well they work all day. I mean, I'm still getting people who could not believe getting there 7:38, 4:35, 5:30, roof on, everything perfect. And of course, the real perk with you listening to this podcast and other stuff, that if you tell them you heard about it on TigerBait, there's some perks that they will certainly render.
No doubt. If you call Pride Roofing, 275-2041, 225 area code, of course, if you're anywhere in South Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, you tell them you heard about it on TigerBait, and they're going to pay for you to have TigerBait Premium free for a solid year. They're pulling out their checkbook on that one, and Mike Faraday, I believe, is in Las Vegas right now with his pretty wife Tammy at a trade show, and we love having them on board with us. And we also got a new sponsor that we're going to talk about later in the show, and I can't wait to talk about her. A big show tonight. We've already got some messages in here. Travis Webb says, happy birthday, Mike. Thank you, Travis. Mario Rossetti, go Tigers. And our first question, any status on Dwight McLaughlin's injury?
Well, you told me and you looked into that. By the way, I want people to understand something. This is football season. And all of us in the media love unpredictability. Well, here you are beating me up every other Wednesday because I got a date with my sweetheart of 20-something years. And I'm here.
I'm just jealous.
I'm here 2 weeks in a row to show you that we don't stick with the same game plan. And I don't think Jake Peets is. I'm excited as heck about the offense, the defense. We're going to talk about all of the guys. Jared Small, once again, talk of the fall camp. 5'10", about 205, 210, wasn't highly recruited. Best friend of Clyde Edwards-Helaire at Catholic High and over here at LSU. And I don't know if Coach O is sending a message, Blake Baker and all those guys, but there are a ton of people at a ton of positions. And Jared Small is the guy, along with Mr. Mashburn, who were not highly recruited or scholarship players that will play roles in this LSU football team.
Now, tell me this. When was the last time we were talking about this many walk-ons at this time of year?
It's been a long time, and a lot of it has to do with COVID, and a lot of it has to do with the transfer portal and the change in the landscape of college football. But back to that question, you expertly said Dwight McLaughlin had a sprained ankle, according to what you found out, and we always ask the question, is it a high ankle sprain, and how long will he be out?
Right, and then my other question is, how often do we see, defensive backs with high ankle sprains? That's kind of a rarity.
Well, he's a guy that had a great spring game, and he's had some moments. Obviously, he's a big corner. We know Eli Ricks and Derek Stingley are not going to get picked on very often. And oh, by the way, I'm here to tell you, it's all starting to come together. Derek Stingley is going to play a lot closer to his first freshman year than last year. Forget last year. Divorce it, forget it, flush it down the toilet, whatever you want to do. Derek Stingley is here. This is his money year. I'm feeling it with the interviews, and him and Rick's got to have a little bet between themselves who's going to get the most INTs. McLaughlin, obviously, is a big corner. And then Cordell Flott and Sage Ryan and everybody else. Jay Ward, Major Burns. Going to be fun to see how much better this secondary is.
I mean, it's likely that Rick's going to have the most opportunity because you got to believe that most passes are going to be thrown in his direction. So, we're going to see how that works out. Let's see. Let me scroll back up, guys. Guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button if you're on Facebook or YouTube. Hit on Facebook, like button. Please share to your Facebook feed. And if you're a member of any of the LSU groups, please do me a favor there and share it to some of the groups as well. Very much appreciative when you guys do that. It helps us with the analyticals and everything that they do, the algorithms. And I don't know if you guys have noticed. Tell me if you noticed how crystal clear the video is. We went up a notch in our capabilities tonight. It sure does look a lot better on my screen. Let me know how it looks on yours. And yep, I'm another year older, and so you're going to see the crow's feet a little bit better. Brian Madeir, raise the volume. I can hardly hear you all. I'm not sure why that would be happening. Anybody else having that problem?
Well, I had a problem with the mic about 2 or 3 weeks ago, so let's hope that I have not buried this thing. Maybe that's part of it. But, folks, we don't put makeup on, and sometimes we have to adjust the technicalities. Listen, it's early, and I made the faux pas. I posted it on your bulletin board. I was so excited about talking about the first game. I said September 24th instead of September 4th. But folks, believe it or not, and I know we got a lot of ladies who really get into football and know football, and I love that about South Louisiana, because I think that the ladies of South Louisiana and LSU fans really, really know what it means to this community and to their old man and to their kids. It's just a culture and a religion that we grow up into. But 2 weeks from Saturday, you get a chance to see UCLA host Hawaii at 2:30 on ESPN, and then 3 weeks Saturday night. Does it feel like to you, of course now we're here Wednesday, so what's that, 21 and 3, 24 days or whatever it is? I mean, does it feel 24 days, or do you think that in a couple of weeks we're going to get blocked out of practice because everybody's neck and butt is going to get a little tight because that program gets unveiled in front of millions on that particular night?
Well, I tell you what, it's been obvious. People get mad when you compare coaches, but one thing that there's been a lot of things that have been refreshing about Ed Orgeron versus the previous coach, and one of those things is that he does give us access to practice, and whether it would be Logan or McLaughlin. Those are the type of things that Les Miles would have closed practice after we only got 2 days. And Orgeron has not done that. And not only has that been a feather in his cap with the local media, but he's also got a feather in his cap with all the former players who get to come to practice, and they get to see everything. And that's vitally important. That helps you with the morale of your alumni, of course, but I think it also helps with the morale of the players to see former guys being welcomed back, because it's a long-term investment for those kids. So.
For some of you who missed Coach O saying this, admitting this, Glenn Logan is going to be out for a while. Now, whether that is the rest of the fall camp or whatever, he's let's give him credit. He's dropped 30-something pounds. But unfortunately, and I had this bout with kidney stones and gallstones, I'd rather be heavy and healthy than skinny and sick. Poor Glenn Logan drops. I want to say last year he played at about 335. He was heavy. Down under 300, and the guy's got that darn ankle or foot or whatever. And so hopefully he gets back. But I heard Blake say this on AYS, and I agree with him 100%. If there's a spot where you can afford an injury early on, it's at the D-line.
Charles Duncan, what's the deal with your prediction of Julian Armour at LSU? I put in a prediction last week, and I have varying degrees of my prediction. It's going to be strong, medium, or low. But I went ahead and did put in a prediction of LSU last week, and it's medium. I think LSU's in a very good spot with him, but it's not 100%. But I like where LSU's sitting right now with him. And I hope to have more on him soon. We've been reaching out and playing a little phone tag. Preston Guy is working on that one. So, Rick Kelly, great show, Mike. Are you serious? Blake Ruffino in the house. He just wrapped up his show. Had Bill King earlier. He gives us a yo-yo-yo. Blake Ruffino was with us out there, Buddy and I, on Saturday after practice. And got a lot of positive feedback on Blake joining us. And I think he's going to come back out maybe one day this weekend with us. So we'll see how that plays out. Well, it ain't going to be this weekend because Saturday is closed.
Yeah.
And Sunday there's no practice. So
right.
We're going to let Blake let us know when he can come out again. John Marion said it was frozen, but now it's not. How does Cole Taylor look blocking?
Well, I'll tell you what, and I know you put the film out yesterday, and everybody has been lamenting the fact that the numbers at tight end are so small and minuscule. And, of course, you go back to Eric Gilbert, and we know that story, and you go back to Jalen Sheed not showing up other than a couple hours and leaving. And then, of course, you go back to Nick Storrs, unfortunately, having a medical situation where it looks like he's going to give it up and probably never get back. So that's 3 tight ends right there that you are dealing with. I don't know about Cole Taylor blocking because you and I and none of the media gets a chance to see team drills. We do see individual drills, and I got to be honest with you, Mike. I was mighty impressed with, and I saw Cole Taylor. You remember there was a guy who was working with the Advocate, and I beat up this guy to Mike personally, not privately, but not publicly, because he didn't know Cole Taylor. And I said, that's got to be Cole Taylor. And lo and behold, he's come a long way with running routes and catching the ball. That was pretty impressive the other day with those drills with him and Jack Bash. But the $64 million question, who's going to put your hand in the ground and beat 2 tight end? Is it going to be a guy they move over? Is it going to be a big ugly like Jacoby and Gilroy or somebody like that? And that's one of the things I think they still are waiting to figure out who will be their big jumbo package, because they don't have a bunch of tight ends to put their hand in the ground and block. So we're not going to know that until the first game.
All right, guys, I'm really excited about this one tonight. I want to talk about a dear friend of mine, Tony Freeman with Assurance Financial. Of course, they're a proud partner of LSU Athletics. She comes on board tonight as a sponsor of TigerBait, and I tell you, I think the world of Tony, and she's absolutely one of the best. And I tell you what, if you're thinking of buying a home or refinancing your current mortgage, but haven't found a lender you can trust, well, let me tell you about Tony Freeman. With Assurance Financial in Baton Rouge, she's a dear friend of mine, someone who many of my friends have used for their mortgage needs repeatedly. In fact, one of them just told me yesterday that she just did her refi with Tony. Her knowledge and over 25 years experience in the mortgage industry is unsurpassed. Tony offers a wide range of knowledge of home loan products. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, ready to buy a new home, or you just want to explore your refinance options, Tony can guide you through your next mortgage experience. You can feel confident you're making the best financial decision with Tony as your guide. And right now you need that with everything going up, the price of housing, mortgage interest rates, so forth. You need to have somebody with her kind of experience. Not only is Tony a huge LSU fan, but Assurance Financial is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Call Tony today, 225-239-7150. Again, 225-239-7150, and tell her you heard about her on TigerBait.com, NMLS number 104765, Equal House Opportunity number 70879. Tony Freeman, Assurance Financial, absolutely one of the best in the business. So very happy to have her on board. Is one of our people that sponsors the show and is a big part of our community. And I've known Tony for years, and she's excellent. So if you have any needs, give her a call. Let's see what else we got. Charles Duncan. What is the deal with your prediction of Julian Army at LSU? I got that one already. Ryan Thibodeau gives me a happy birthday. Very much appreciative. Kenny Futch, longtime friend. I saw some footage of Jack Bash at practice. It appears he is bulked up. I think Jack looks the same as he's always looked to me. you know, I know I've seen Jack's frame. Lots of trips out to Lafayette and watching St. Thomas More. And I don't know what his weight is. I'd be shocked if he's over 215. He's always been, physically, he's had the right amount of muscle on him. That's why I was dead set when they were talking last year about putting him up to 230. That just does not make sense.
Yeah, I think the original roster listed him in the 207, 210 range. Cole Taylor in the 245 to 250 range. Look, you have the catch-22 on that, Mike, like you alluded to. And I did not want to see Jack Bech get to 2.25. You've been following this kid for the last couple of years very closely with Walker Howard and STM and their great program. And I just love the way he just doesn't seem like he ever freaks out or gets nervous. Very seamless in his breaks and catching the football. You can tell there's supreme confidence. And let me just give Mike a little credit here because, it took a little prodding for this LSU staff to jump on the Jack Bech bandwagon.
Well, but to be fair to them, it was a COVID year, and you didn't have them come to camp.
That's why I mentioned it.
But that said, I mean, I was there week one. It was Thursday night. Newman at East Jeff, West Jeff. Newman at West Jeff, Thursday night game. The next night I was at, because I wanted to be there for Walker's first start at varsity at STM. And it was, it was Plaquemine. And look, he looked apart to me, but then everybody was seeing his film.
But you know what the big deal was? He probably ran a 4.6.
Yeah, but here's the thing I want to say about him. And I was eavesdropping on Blake's show earlier, and to talk about who is going to be the punt returner. Trey Palmer's done some things, but he's also had a drop. Jack Bech is a guy that I think they ought to look at.
Well, Sage Ryan is one of the guys that Coach O keeps mentioning.
I think Sage Ryan as well, but I think Jack Bech is somebody they should look at because he did it at St. Thomas More and was devastating. Yeah. And he's sure-handed. And we've already had a Bech in the past that was a punt returner.
Yeah, well, my point with Jack is that he looks very poised and confident for a true freshman. And look, he's not going to put his hand in the ground and block the 280, 290-pound D lineman in the SEC. But, man, in space, 50-50 balls and run after the catch and ball security, you got to think he's going to bring that to the table. Jack Bech's going to catch a lot of balls. He stays healthy this year.
Yeah. Charlie Viator, how do you feel about, let's see. How do you feel about Harold Perkins, a linebacker from Texas? I like where LSU sits with him, but certainly battling Texas A&M. He was there the day that LSU had the boys from the boot at Texas A&M. But, of course, he's got Louisiana ties, so we're going to see how this shakes out. Chance Babin says your video and audio aren't match up. There's a delay in the video. How many other people are experiencing that? You guys let me know. Langlois could return anything. Bart Smokey.
Matthew Langlois has turned some heads. I think people are, from what I picked up, Mike, they were surprised that he is so smart, how quickly he picks things up. He's faster. And I remember when Mike went to watch him, and unfortunately, I think Episcopal went over there and put about 50 on him.
It was bad.
And it was bad because you couldn't get a true pulse of the young man, but they are pleasantly surprised with Matthew Langlois. He's going to play on special teams. And once again, this is what's exciting about guys like that, where maybe not the consummate 4-star or 5-star, but the guys that are solid 3s, and they come in here and they develop into a really good football player. And, of course, I know everybody's heard about Brian Thomas Jr. How impressed are you? You know, it kind of went off the sheet when I saw they listed him at 6'5", 198. I said, oh, come on, man. They always cheat with inches and pounds in football sizes. But, boy, I like him being so smooth. And, Mike, I said it. You're going to have a program for this year's team because there's a lot of double numbers. And it's going to take you a while. You're going to see 11, and you're going to see 11 with Ali Gay on defense. You're going to see 11 with Brian Thomas Jr., all these other double numbers. But, man, these freshman wide receivers, it's going to be fun to see who steps up and get early reps, even starting as early as the UCLA game and certainly week 2 and 3.
All right, guys. You guys that are getting a little, saying you have a delay, let me know. Are y'all using a laptop or are y'all watching on your phone? Let me know. I want to. We went up to the 1080p option tonight.
Oh, okay.
So I wonder if that has something to do with it.
Yeah.
If you're using a cell phone, let me know. Other people say it's good on them. Let's see. All right, guys. I'm scrolling up. Making sure I got Jim Milano. What about the Johnson kid from Newman? Was he the one Buddy said we had to get? He's probably talking about Aaron Anderson, right?
Yeah, Aaron Anderson. Unfortunately, A.J. Johnson has a theme music right now of Bad Boys, what you gonna do? Unfortunately, it just behavior which was not conducive for him staying or LSU keeping that commitment.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's better that it happens now. Maybe that young man will grow up a little bit. Maybe he'll wake up a little bit and know that he's got to act a little bit better. But once again, you don't lament any loss at wide receiver because LSU does so good. Aaron Anderson, on the other hand, Jim Milano, is like Lonnie Anderson used to be. And if you remember her when she was married to Burt Reynolds, and I'm thinking Jim's over 50, fine as can be. Well, Aaron Anderson, they've got to have that kid. I mean, you love him, and I do too.
Man,
I think he's special.
I tell you what, I went what is it? A few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. It's probably 3 years ago. Burt Reynolds died, and I was in my car when the news came out, and I walked into a place, and all the girls there were probably about late 20s, 30s. And I said, man, Burt Reynolds is, so I don't know who that is. They didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, well, it's generations, my man.
Bart Smokey, I have Jamie Howard on the show Monday. Bart Smokey's got a great show, KZMZ 96.9 in Alexandria from 4 to 6 every Monday, Tiger Talk. And, of course, Bart also sponsors our post-practice reports. Much thanks to Bart. And I'm on his show from 5:45 to 6. He says he's got Jamie Howard on his show Monday. And he told us last year that Jack Besh would play a lot this year. No doubt. Everybody that's seen Besh play, everybody that follows St. Thomas More football in the Lafayette area, and anybody who ran into Jack Besh on last year's schedule or the last couple of years' schedule knows that. So he's something to behold. And I'm real anxious to see what Jake Peets and them are able to do with him and able to get him involved.
Thank you, Bart. Class act, Bart Smokey, folks.
Yes. Kenny Futch, happy birthday, Mike. I'm hearing Brian Thomas Jr. is looking good. Absolutely. There's some stuff circulating out there that several people have seen, and boy, he's really good. And if you saw Walker last year, I think I filmed Walker twice. I was at their jamboree. It was either jamboree or a scrimmage. I think it was a scrimmage when they hosted
Catholic High, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember if it was a scrimmage before the jamboree.
Yeah.
But he had a couple of plays against that team. And, of course, Walker had a rough season last year. And he was the bright spot that they had. And then they played at St. Thomas More and didn't do much in that game, but still was effective. He's just an absolute beast. And, of course, for years through high school, he was a two-sport guy and eventually realized, hey, at 6'4", in basketball, your future's in football and what you can do. And is he the type of kid that we're going to see come in, and whether it's, does he start putting the pressure on Jenkins or Coy Moore or who? Or is he, but you need him. I mean, you're going to need one or a couple of these true freshman wide receivers to make a push.
I don't remember this many true wide receivers coming in. And in fact, Keishon Butte said it this week with the media interviews. He said, these guys coming in, and everybody ought to know them, Deion Smith wearing 6, Malik Neighbors wearing 8, Brian Thomas Jr. wearing 11, Chris Hilton, who's a high jumper, wearing 17, and of course Jack Besh wearing 80. He even said, these guys are further advanced than I was and the other guys that came in with me. So it's going to be interesting, and I think the exciting thing is watching some of the clips from practice. You forget how Max Johnson has a knack of finding the open guy. And that's one of the reasons why I really liked him to win the battle. We're going to have to monitor how much you want to do RPO now that you don't have much depth at the quarterback spot. But I just love the fact that if you get open, Max Johnson is going to find you this year.
Yep. Hey, look, Benny Latino's in the house.
What's up, superstar?
Yeah, do you see a path for some playing time for Devonta Smith?
Well,
He means Devonta Lee.
That is Devonta Lee, and of course he has taken all the reps that we have seen at practice with the duration of the media at wide receiver. So he is a big wide receiver. So you know what, Mr. Devonta Lee, I apologize. We should be propping up 16. He's going to have a shot. But you just mentioned Coy Moore, Trey Palmer, Jontre Kirkland, Alex Adams. Every time you turn around, Mike, I've never seen this many guys that were wide receivers that could run. The question is, can they block? Can they pick up the audibles? Are they going to know when they're the hot receiver? And can they play at this level with confidence? And listen, you and I remember somebody's daddy, and by the way, he's a rich man now. Jamar Chase's daddy all told us that first year as a freshman, he was so nervous, he forgot plays, and anybody that's ever played at this level knows you get your stomach tight. Oh my God, what do I have to do? How quickly can they handle it mentally, physically, and psychologically? It's not that easy, folks.
And now, how fast did he get over that?
Oh.
And then not only that, if you watch him today, we've got it up on TigerBait.com. It was a joint interview with Joe Burrow. The confidence level. But what I love about Jamar is he has such high expectations for himself. Like when he accomplishes something and he doesn't bask in it because he expects it. And the mindset of a guy like that expects what comes his way because of the work he puts in, that's when you got something special. And that's I can't look. I watched until Joe got hurt last year. I watched more Bengals than I did Saints.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be another episode of that for me this year. I can't. First I want to see Joe get 100%, and hopefully they've got they fixed the offensive line. But I'm gonna have some fun watching Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and the Bengals.
Well, let me make sure people understand. Jamar Chase also, as a freshman, had more drops than any other wide receiver. So what I'm saying to you is that if he can panic and freak out and forget a play, and if he can drop, and I think Jamar Chase probably had a handful, maybe more drops, you got to give these young guys that are playing for the first time a little bit of time because this is an enormous thing like Cole Taylor. I can tell you this, Cole Taylor's going to drop some balls this year, but he's going to catch some. Now, I don't know how many Jack Mesh is going to drop because he seems like everything that he touches, that touches his hands, he catches. But the point of it is that the 10,000 balls catching from the jugs gun in the summertime, we're going to see what freshmen and what wide receivers are going to be able to catch the football. And I like the fact that Max doesn't throw a fastball. Even Kayshon Boutte said it, a left-handed delivery, the ball comes out a little different, but it's a very catchable ball.
By the way, guys, I want to talk about our fantastic sponsor, Pride Roofing. Of course, we wouldn't be here every week if it wasn't for them. Our major sponsor of our shows each and every Wednesday, Pride Roofing, Mike Faraday, Alex Martinez, absolutely the best in the business. There's roofing companies all over Louisiana. There's a bunch of them in the Baton Rouge area, but these guys are the absolute pinnacle, the guys you want to be dealing with. Give them a call, 225-275-2041. Get your free roof inspection, residential or commercial. Southwest Louisiana, Sulphur Lake, Charles, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, anywhere south of Alexandria, the entire state of Louisiana, south of Alexandria, Mississippi, all the way up to Jackson, Gulf Coast of Alabama, locations all throughout Gulfport, Gulf Shores, Alabama. They've got you covered. Of course, the main branch, Albany, Louisiana, and they're real big, obviously, in the North Shore area in the Florida parishes. That's their bread and butter, and getting bigger and bigger in the Baton Rouge area. You've probably seen their billboards all up and down I-12 and everywhere else. Mike Faraday, Alex Martinez, Pride Roof them. Give them a call. Tell them you heard about it on TigerBait, and they're going to pay for you to have TigerBait Premium for a year. So you can't beat it. You get a free roof inspection, and you get free TigerBait for a year. And people have jumped on that deal. We've got a bunch of people, a couple more this week that jumped on that, and under no obligation. And if you're in a bid situation, they'll match bids, they'll beat them, and give Pride Roofing a call.
Job well done is a job done with pride and by pride. By the way, Mike said in the New Orleans area, 985-222-3296. I wanted to memorize it, but you know, it is amazing.
If you rattled that off without having to glance at the last four numbers, I was going to like, how did he do that?
Well, I looked at it a couple times, but we couldn't be here without him. And listen, folks, I enjoy doing these things. Mike, of course, is the better looking and younger guy. But we come here and have a lot of fun. And, you know, I got to be honest with you. Every day I wake up and I sit there and I say, are we painting a legitimate, realistic, objective picture of LSU and what the fans want to see? And that's why you and I were talking before the show. You know, right now they're letting us out there. And, of course, we got rain on one of the days earlier, and today was a day off. But once you start these scrimmages, and the first scrimmage is Saturday, and the next one is the following Saturday, and of course they have a walkthrough with a pre-scrimmage on the Saturday before, you know, a UCLA game. If they can stay healthy, Mike, and not lose a Shanahan, a big lineman, a big guy here or there where you got to have them and you don't have the depth, I really see LSU starting this season with a lot of continuity. Can't get over how important it is for that trust and that communication. Those players trust those guys. They communicate. They're hanging with them. And no disrespect to those previous 6 coaches who made a lot of money.
The age helps.
There's no doubt about it. I think, look, I think it's going to make a big difference. On the other hand, let's call it the way it is. Durante Jones and your boy Jake Peets are going to be center stage. And you know what? My prediction is they're going to kill it that first night. The fact that they're not going to know what they're calling because your front four can put pressure without blitzing. And offensively, man, Jake Peets, you're going to love this offense in 2019 if the O-line stays healthy and protects Max.
The over and under on the UCLA game is 70. Let me know in the comments, do you take the over or the under? That is a hard one for me.
Well, I'll just say this. The defense is going to be appreciably better. And on this August the 11th, Wednesday night, I am here now telling you my first prediction with Derek Stingley Jr. He will have a big play. The crystal ball has not told me yet if it's an INT, if it's a pick six, if it's a return, or if it's a fumble forced or fumble recovered. But Derek Stingley is going to be involved in 7 big plays this year, which are either touchdowns, INTs, fumbles, or fumble recoveries. And you know, we hadn't even gone down the highway of does he play offense and all that other stuff. But I don't know if you saw those drills before the start of camp. Stingley is in prime shape. Him and Ricks and all those guys are competing. It's going to be fun to see this defense get back to LSU ways.
Kenny Haynes, the official attorney of TigerBait. He's like the Tom Hagen of TigerBait.com. Hey, Mike, what we looking for when you post those defensive backpedal drills? Kenny's giving me some guff because he says some of that stuff. He goes, I don't know why people get so excited because I'm filming the cornerbacks and they're doing these little tiptoe drills at each other, and he's like, what is that? And like what? How do guys get so fired up to watch stuff like that? And so he's having a little fun with me tonight.
That's Tiger Shark, right?
Yeah, that's Tiger Shark.
He is. I gotta say, man, when he's like E.F. Hutton to me. When he speaks, I listen.
Yep. Lee Smith says the practice reports have been awesome, fellas. Thanks for the kind words. Buddy's become a YouTube star. The comment sections every time we do one is everybody talking about how great Buddy is. I feel like a potted plant on some of them videos sometimes.
Oh, come on, man. We have fun, and you know, it's great because you bring a lot of the recruiting and the technical stand-up part of it, and I'm out there, you know, I think back to Tiger Shark and what we show. You always told me, man, look, you're in there with filming. It's not that fun. I mean, you're trying to get every little morsel.
No, this is the truth. This is why I love having Buddy there. And then when Blake Ruffino joined us the other day, and he's going to come out again, when they give us 3 or 4 periods and I've got to go out there and film and I'm holding my camera and I drop my camera to get photos, it's like a lot of times I don't know what I'm seeing until I get back to the office and look at my video, because I'm looking through viewfinders, particularly the way they have it set up right now where I'm trying to film defensive linemen from 150 yards away with my optical zoom. You know, so a lot of times I'm like, oh, I noticed so-and-so wasn't in practice when I get back to the office. So that's why Buddy's so valuable, along with just his knowledge and his knowing the history of LSU and been doing it since the 80s. So,
well, here's the thing with Tiger Shark, though. The reason you're filming that, Shark, is because we're going to show you if a guy has hips. And I'll never forget, Kathy called in and said, why are you talking about hips? We're not dancing. Well, you have to have hips to actually turn your body and bat the ball away. Who was it?
There's a reason why a lot of football players win Dancing with the Stars.
Well, but I'm saying you got to have hips, and you got to backpedal, and you got to actually have the long arms where you can knock down passes. But there is a method to the madness, Shark, believe it or not.
Jamie Hall, how do you think Trey Palmer gets in the games this year?
You know, I don't know if you're a big believer in the depth chart on where they line up with the reps, but I will say this. Keyshawn Butte, without a doubt, is number one, and as we've said on numerous occasions, smooth as a baby's butt. Corey Moore, Trey Palmer, Johnson Kirkland, these guys, Jeray Jenkins, those four, they are vying for 2, 3, and 4.
You know what's
right
funny
now.
is it's like, and I feel like he's almost being like the Rodney Dangerfield. And I was a guy that maybe out of high school was kind of iffy, but nobody's been talking about Corey Moore all offseason.
And he's a little dinged. I saw him limping a little bit one day. Back to Trey Palmer.
But I mean, but the production he had last year,
yeah.
you would think more people would be talking about him. He never gets talked about.
Well, what about Jeray Jenkins? Jeray Jenkins, number 10, is a big receiver, 6'2", 6'3". That's what you're going to love about this receiving core. You got the guys 5'10", 5'11", 190, 195. You got the 6'2s, the 6'3s, the 6'5", 200 plus. And so you got a nice combination of bigs. But Trey Palmer, once again, we know the key. Got to catch the football with his hands. Don't let it get into your body. And if he does, I'll just ask you, would you put Derek Stingley back in the first punt return of the season?
No. He would absolutely have to be the absolute emergency punt guy. I just think his value, his NFL future, I don't believe that's necessary. I think you can get it done with what you've got there, whether it's Palmer, Sage Ryan, Jack Besh. You've got athletes there that you can get work there. You know, I want to say, I was thinking of something earlier too. Because of the amount of work that they're able to get now, what's legal with the NCAA, the amount of classroom work that they're able to get in the summertime, you know, the amount of time they actually get to be with the coaches and get coaches during the week. You know, so many hours during, you know, June, July. So when we go out there, it's like sometimes you're thinking, I know there's been a couple of times where I'm like, I don't know that I'm feeling the sense of urgency out here, because there doesn't need to be anymore, because of so much work that they're able to get done early in the summer. You know, obviously you want to get out there and hit. Now you get the chance to get full pads on, and those scrimmages are vital. But the teaching work for the most part has been done. But now you have to get out there and actually put it into play, the classroom work. So,
well, I can tell you who's got a sense of urgency is Brad Davis, because that offensive line, in case you missed our reports this week, we will verify, and it's hard to ascertain if it was injury related or if it was academically related, as some of them were taking finals in summer school, but no Chasen Hines and no Garrett Dellinger on, when day was that? I guess that was Tuesday when we were out there yesterday. So Bradford went from the backup left tackle to the starting right guard. Cardell Thomas got some reps at right guard. Kimo McAnally, Mike, finally saw him get out there playing on the left side of 55. Xavier Hill Marlon Martinez, Marcus Dumaville, those guys. And I know Blake loves that offensive line, but those guys I just mentioned, those backups, they're going to be very important because invariably you're going to have injuries in the trenches. And Coach O is going to say it. Book it right now. You can hear Coach O say it. Some of these backup O linemen got to get good enough to give Brad Davis confidence that he can put him in the game the first night if there's some injuries.
Blaine Smith, the scrimmages need to be light, not too physical. That's a good one. I asked for you guys to give us the over and under, and Bart, who's going out there, Smokey says over. Milano says take the under. Blaine, who's on the screen right now, says under. David Singley Jr. says under. Let's see. Charles Duncan's talking about Jamon Tapp and that he's going to commit soon to LSU. Let's see. Blaine Smith's thinking 44 to 23 LSU.
Well, that's under.
Yep. Lee Smith, practice reports have been awesome, fellas. Thank you, Lee. Let's see. I scrolled up. Let me see.
Where's PFM? Where's Frenchie? Where's Chambers? Where is Carl the Cat? The legendary Carl the Cat.
Yeah, Keaton Berry and Coy Moore is going to ball. Need 2 running backs in every class, says Blaine. Brian Madeir. Hey, Bud, man, don't look now, but Johnson just reeled in another hard-throwing lefty.
Oh, he must be talking about Jay Johnson. And, man, when I had him on, that was one of the first questions that I asked him about lefties. And I think that LSU being void of lefties, those days are over. Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, and by the way, Benny Latino early in the chat, I forgot to mention, he's got a quarterback son named Ben, who's at St. Thomas Aquinas, and he's going to be one to watch.
Benny, a longtime, well-known scout. He is a walking encyclopedia.
He's got an LA Dodgers championship ring. That's the most, usually those things are gaudy.
But he's an encyclopedia.
But that is a good-looking gaudy ring.
Yeah,
It's a pretty, that blue LA Dodgers, scout for the Dodgers.
Of course, as we know, the Dodgers certainly hated to lose Tommy Lasorda within the last year, and then Bobby Bowden, who we had a relationship with many, many years ago and was a class act. I know for a while there, I'd have him on and people started getting pissed off because he was coming in here and he got that running back from St. Aug and Warwick Dunn and all of that. But Coach Bowden, Coach Tommy Lasorda, may you rest in peace.
Richard Sinnett, great show tonight. Thank you. You brought up Carl the Cat, Mark Jett. Carl the Cat, that is old school. Ran him downtown a few weeks ago. Ron Elam says he's watching. Glad to have you with us. Dane Bergeron, one of the top posters on TigerBait's Tiger Den message board. Thank you guys for the daily reports. Awesome job. Dane's one of our subscribers, and we would love to have all of you. Go to TigerBait. Do me a favor. We want to have you as a subscriber. Our Tiger Den premium message board. I'm there day and night, as well as Dane and Tiger Shark, Kenny, Bart. We're all there. We want to have you as part of of TigerBait.com. Go subscribe. Choose the annual package. Don't do the monthly. You save 3 months when you do that. If you want to do the monthly, go ahead. But the annual is the better deal. Choose that option. Once the show's over, go subscribe, and I think you'll be happy. I've got 2 or 3 recruiting updates coming tomorrow. I'm backlogged. And we'll be out at practice. And I'm also hitting a high school tomorrow that's going to be their first day in full pads, and I think y'all going to be excited about what I'm going to have on that. So I got a full day tomorrow. And TigerBait subscribers, you're gonna get all that stuff. You get our practice reports, our high definition video, our newsletters, text alerts for breaking news, and so it is upon us.
Hey, sorry, boss man, to spring you on this in front of our audience here, but I would be interested, and I know a lot of the guys on the site did this a few years ago, but I would be interested in meeting somebody, having this TigerBait get together, and I know it's hard to coordinate with the games and the times and all the other stuff, but If you have a function where all the TigerBait subscribers,
I want to do one.
Get together, trust me, I can get some Manda sausage and we can grill up and we can get the libations. But I think that would be a good thing to do.
I want to do
at some point this year.
This is the 25th year of TigerBait.
Gotta celebrate.
And so I want to do something, but I'm fearful. I had my high school reunion last fall canceled because of COVID.
Yep.
And now we've got what's going on with the Delta variant. I wanted to buy some concert tickets for the House of Blues in October for something on a Tuesday night. I don't want to buy them because I'm worried it's going to get canceled. We got Jazz Fest canceled already, especially anything in New Orleans. It makes you worry. So I'm kind of gun shy right now of planning something, and then it ends up getting canceled. But maybe we'll end up doing something, picking a place, and just have some drinks and get to mingle. And but we got subscribers all over the state of Louisiana, out of state. But I like to do something as soon as we can before the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm taller and skinnier in real life, by the way.
Charles Duncan, Mike Scarborough never sleeps. Mark Jett, best show on Facebook. Thank you very much, Mark. There's a lot of good shows out there. Jay Matthews will still be a Tiger. Any word on OL commits coming soon?
Well, talk about that, Jacoby Matthews, Mike. That was pretty controversial. And when you were talking,
see, you had to put two T's in there because then I'd be or Jay Matthews. It could be Jordan.
Okay.
At Woodlawn.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think the more highly touted.
But he's got an LSU offer.
But what I was getting to with him and Perkins is, and I ask you this from time to time, and I think they want to know too, but how much of an impact is NIL going to seep into the recruiting game? Now, Jacoby Matthews is a guy that was committed. He wanted to go to A&M for the beach ball party or whatever the hell they had. What was it at A&M?
I don't know what they called it.
Some kind of wacky party.
They had a barbecue.
Okay, and we saw Perkins and some of his members and smoking cigars and staying up late and all that. But I'm just wondering, Mike, seriously.
And there was a coach there after midnight.
But look, everybody cheats, so everybody ought to know that you're going to have rampant. But that's one of the things I'm asking you. How bad is it going to be here moving forward that people at Texas and LSU and Ohio State and Alabama and A&M and Georgia and Florida can just go in there and buy a recruit for X amount of dollars with an NIL deal?
Yeah,
do you see that happening, and does that worry you?
It worries me, and what really worries me too is how bad what it's going to do to the fans that have been longtime fans of college football.
Yeah,
I think it's going to erode some of the fans. I think it's going to turn off a lot of people to college football because honestly, let's say what it is. It's now professional sports. If you want to call it semi-pro all you want, but once you start getting paid and it's legal, you're a professional. So there's no two ways about it.
And some of these kids are now getting paid to go on visits. And so, just understand, folks, that like Mike alluded to, it's not as pure. Of course, we know AAU in basketball was more blatant than football. Football may catch up now, Mike.
Do you do this deal where you if that's the way it's going to be, if you're a coach, you say, you know what, I know you're coming. And there's opportunities for you to make this kind of money and it's legal. I know you're coming. Just don't commit. Wait till this certain date when it gets close and go ahead and exhaust all that. And, heck, some of the dollar figures we're seeing out there could be a down payment on a home.
Absolutely.
When it all adds up, if it's multiple schools.
Well, people thought I was kidding a couple of weeks.
Especially for a first-time home buyer, and who do you want to call? Tony Freeman.
There you go.
At Assurance Financial.
Hey, what I was saying is that some people thought I was just being crazy a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you remember, I said, all you LSU fans in Texas, you may have to belly up a little NIL money moving forward to get the 3 or 4 studs from Texas that LSU gets because it's going to get that competitive. And now we're losing the main reasons you go to college, to grow up and become a man, to get an education, to play at LSU in the SEC, to have your mama and daddy and all your loved ones, to play against Alabama in all the great games, to win championships. Mike, all of that could be pushed to the side if a guy says, hey, man, you come here, I got a sponsor who's willing to pay you $500,000. I just don't want it to get into an all-out bidding war, even though it's been going on. I'm just saying this could be rampant, and as we've seen, the NCAA does not do a good job of keeping up with the grass in their backyard.
They're asleep at the wheel, and honestly, they don't. Did you dig into what happened to Baylor today? I saw that they got the word, but I didn't see what the.
I'm sorry, I read it very quickly, but did not process.
I'm going to dig into that later.
Yeah.
Some of you, I'm sure a bunch of you in the chat know what all happened to them, but obviously we're wondering, the stuff with Will Wade still out there. I mean, this stuff now, it's like they don't have any teeth.
Yeah.
And it's like you're going to hit LSU now? All this stuff's legal.
Yeah.
Hakeem Nance, I'll fly in from Hawaii, Mike. Yep. Kenny says he'll drive down from Shreveport. So if we end up having a TigerBait party, so we're going to get something going down soon. So Dane Bergeron says he's going to schedule his hunting trips around a TigerBait get together. So we got to figure out something. I'm just real worried about more setbacks and maybe a future lockdown of some sort. But someone asked early in the chat about capacity of Tiger Stadium. Any worries there? I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing anything about in California either, in UCLA. Tickets went on sale today, single tickets, and Bart, who's been in the chat tonight, I know he's going. More and more, I'm learning about people that are going. We saw, what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago, United's adding direct flights from Baton Rouge to Los Angeles. So I think that's going to be a fun trip. I would love to go. I'm not going. That's a great Friday night of high school football, and I need to see some recruits. So I'm not going to that one. But those of you who are going, I just think the time of day that game's going to kick off, where that Rose Bowl's situated, that's going to be as picturesque as it gets. I'm assuming you're going to have a blimp flying overhead, giving great shots. I think a lot of LSU fans are going to love that trip and have a good time.
Dodgers just had a full house a couple nights ago. So of course, now Gavin Newsom, not to get political, but he is the governor of California, and he's in the middle of a recall. I think the vote on him is mid-September. So you would think that he would not want to alienate people at that close to it. But LSU released it a couple days ago. They, at this point in time, do not have any restrictions.
Boy, and what a mess that would be, because they've sold all the tickets, and there was some sort of thing that came down. How would you pick and choose after that?
Well, and then you get into the other thing about look. I don't want to go there because it's bad deja vu, but I've kind of put that to the back burner. I hope everybody out there takes precautions and we can get through this thing so we can get back. Mike, that was the most depressing thing last year, to see LSU play in Tiger Stadium and not only give up 600-something the first game against Mississippi State and not be able to get it into Missouri. But I'm sorry, watching 100,000-seat stadiums with 20,000 people there, it's just not the kind of college football season that anybody's ever going to remember.
Kenny Haynes, I got some sponsor money for the get-together. Kenny's one of the best friends of TigerBait and one of my good friends. I know Bart said the same thing before. Pride Roofing has said they put some money up. We got to figure something out. I don't know what it'll be, if we choose something on the open date or do we do something, then you get in trouble if you try to do something in December with everybody having Christmas parties. I think this year the Christmas party scene is going to be off the hook. Yeah. Your friends over at the old Drusilla, all the meeting clubs, all those rooms are going to be booked because everybody didn't have them last year.
Well, I'd love to meet a lot of these guys.
Yeah, me too. Let's see. Scrolling back. Palermo Trapani, Bart is correct. The Title IX and Clary Act are not in the jurisdiction of the NCAA. Never have been. I think Baylor paid $500,000 in civil fines levied by the U.S. Department of Education with U.S. DOJ backing. All right, I need to go to law school.
Yeah.
I need to go read on what happened to them. But let's see, guys. Paul from Metairie on YouTube. Great show. Who is winning the punting battle?
You know, it's an interesting, and by the way, Coach O will meet with the media after practice tomorrow. And the last I heard about it is that he wasn't ready to name a starter, which we thought meant Avery Atkins was in there with Peyton Tide. Now, you saw Peyton Tide. Of course, he played 2 positions in high school and he got hurt. But he is a prototypical LSU punter, 6'6", about 215 to 220. And so, but a lot of people noticed this at the spring game, said, you know what? 32 is the best kickoff guy ever. I'm sorry. LSU will never have another kickoff guy like Avery Atkins. I forget what his percentage is, but it's ungodly. But it'll be something. Guys told me he's a pretty darn good punter, so maybe Coach O.
He's had a few balls go over that yellow fence in the back of the end zone.
But let's see if Coach O addresses it tomorrow. He hadn't been asked that lately.
More than a few.
Yeah.
Let's see, guys. Let me scroll down. Well, we got a big crowd tonight. Thank all of you guys for tuning in. Please share on Facebook. If you're not a subscriber on YouTube, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Same thing on Facebook. As you know, we simulcast to both Facebook and YouTube. Let's see. All right. Yeah, Brett Hunter. Coming from Jacksonville, Florida for the McNeese State game, I would be extremely disappointed if they locked down. I don't think that's happening.
No, I don't think that's happening either. And look, speaking of that, how interesting.
And look, here's the thing. Here's the calculation. And we're not getting political, but obviously John Bell Edwards is in his second term. He won't run again. But you got to believe his designs are to possibly run for senator in the future. People say, well, he can do whatever he wants and not have any ramifications for lockdowns or bringing the pain. I disagree. I think he still has political aspirations beyond being governor. I think he might want to run for senator one day.
Well, I'm not going to get into all of that. You can do all that politics. I'm here for the sports end of it. But I was just going to say with the McNeese game, this is going to be interesting. And I know Coach O will get asked this, but I don't think he's ever coached against his son. That's a starting quarterback at McNeese. And so, in that kind of game, you generally speaking don't have a legitimate point spread. But you know how bookies are, and with gambling coming in here in this state real soon, be interesting to see. I wouldn't pick the Tigers to cover the spread against McNeese. It wouldn't surprise me if they lay down a little bit and not try to make too many people in Lake Charles mad, especially with his son being a quarterback. And once again, folks, I hope you still keep those people in their prayers of what they had to endure and go through. People like Jamie and all of our great friends that live in Lake Charles, that's got to be one hellacious year. And so let's hope the good Lord can spare them this year.
That area deserves 100 years of nothing but clear skies and normal weather.
Jamie buys Class Act in Lake Charles. 5 more minutes, guys. We got to get this guy over an hour. I didn't come over here to do a short show.
We're good. PC and BNG. Will Pete's be in the press box to call plays?
I don't know if anybody's asked him that yet. I think they'll probably have a better idea after the first couple scrimmages. Scrimmage this Saturday. Now we talked to him after the scrimmage. Somebody will ask him, is Pete's upstairs or on the ground?
I think he's upstairs.
I do too.
And then you'll have Munoz and your passing game coordinator downstairs.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or no, you might just have Munoz downstairs.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, guys. I'm scrolling up. I know I missed some. Yeah, Charles Duncan had a relative just get COVID. I've got so many friends that have gotten it in the last month. It's everybody needs to be careful. Let's see, guys. Scroll up. Mike Miller, average number of targets per game for tight ends this season. How many balls per game to the tight ends? That's a toughie.
Well, okay, so
if you're including Besh,
I was going to say, are you going to include Besh? Because if you include Besh is going to get 6 to 8 balls a game his way.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe 4 to 5, 6. Look, the guy is solid. He's going to be in the slot. He's going to be in space. Cole Taylor, a game, 1 or 2 probably. I mean, if he has 20-something catches as a true tight end, but
I think you might be right, 6 to 8 total.
Yeah.
For all of them, including Besh.
Well, you got so many wide receivers, and once again, here's another thing that we're all going to be locked.
And you're hoping that you've got a running back that's catching the ball very, very well.
But you got to make sure, because UCLA is going to double Kayshon Boutte the opening night. So you're going to now put him in the backfield. You're going to put him in motion. You're going to do all kinds of things to get him in space to where it's harder to double him. But, man, I am really excited about this bevy of wide receivers. Now, I know that they all would like to have a little more experience, but I think, just like Kayshon Boutte said, man, if you don't bring it every day at practice, you're going to get passed up by somebody.
We went over an hour.
Okay. Well, we had a quickie at practice the other day.
Yeah, all right, guys. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. Go to TigerBait, subscribe. We want to have you with us. I'm always going to beat that drum. Please come subscribe to TigerBait. Want to have you. Thanks to Tony Freeman with Assurance Financial for joining us as a part of the TigerBait family and sponsoring us. Give her a call if you need mortgage, new home, refi, whatever your needs are. She's the best in the business. And thanks to Pride Roofing for sponsoring each and every week. Check us out tomorrow. We'll be live out for an instant analysis right after practice, and a lot more multiple recruiting updates tomorrow on TigerBait.com. And thanks you all for being with us tonight. And we'll be back here. Someone asked me earlier on the show, is the schedule going to change? No, I'm sticking. My show is going to stay on Wednesday nights. So that way, once the high school football season is going, if there's some Thursday night games that have a recruit that I can get to that LSU's after, then I'm going to go see them. So I want to leave that night open. All right, guys, good night. Thanks for being with us.